Hey VC, it's Jonathan, your cheap and cheerful record collector. It's a beautiful Sunday morning here in Maine. Hope everybody's doing well out there. I really feel terrible for all our VC friends out there in the West Coast with the fires and the smoke and oh my God, just unbelievably horrible. Really, our hearts go out to everybody out west there. We're hoping you're all staying safe and doing well, and hopefully we get through this sooner than later. Last week, I had a visitor here in Maine. Kimbo, one of our VC members from Seattle, was visiting Maine, and I got together with Kimbo and Brian from Shamrock and Records, and the three of us went record shopping. Met in downtown Portland. Because the problem with the COVID and etc., a lot of stores were closed. A lot of the record stores had limited hours. So even though there's 7 or 8 places to shop for records in downtown Portland, we only could be able to hit 2 of them. But then we went up to Brunswick, Maine, and found another shop up there. So we had a good day of it. We went out to lunch. We hung out. We had a great time. We had a really good time. So I think Kimbo got a lot of stuff for his collection. I know I picked up some real winners, and Brian did well too. So I got a lot of records to show. I got that and a bunch of Goodwill finds. So got a lot of records to show. I'll start off with the ones I picked up with Brian and Kimbo last Wednesday. Picked this up at Boomless Music up in Brunswick, Maine. And I'm a big fan of this guy, is Dave Van Ronk. I don't know if you know Dave, but Dave was a folk singer, 1950, late 50s, early 60s. Was known basically as the mayor of McDougal Street, which was the main drag in Greenwich Village. If you ever saw the Coen Brothers movie, the Llewellyn Davis, the Llewellyn Davis movie is really very loosely based on Dave Van Ronk. Van Ronk sort of had sort of like a Tom Waits kind of rough, gruff voice, but great folk musician. I have a lot of his albums, so I was really happy to pick this one up. Going back to Brooklyn. Don't know, I think the date is this is the mid-80s, I think. But great album, Dave Van Ronk, Going Back to Brooklyn. And it's on the Reckless label out of Cambridge. Cool little red label there. Played this yesterday for the first time. Great, really good. Brian actually has this, and because I turned him on to Dave Van Ronk, I think he grabbed it a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month or so ago. And so he saw it, oh, you got to have it. So add that to my collection. I was up in the store we were up in the store in Brunswick, Maine. It's one of those weird stores where the guy doesn't have anything priced. You basically have to pick what you want, take it to the front. He looks it up in an old book and gives you a price. Not my favorite way to shop, but we found some stuff. One of the ones I got, I was real happy. I'm mixed feelings about this one. It's a great album. It's Chet Baker and crew, Pacific Jazz. This is an original 1959 UK pressing. You got that floppy UK book there. Original price, you see there, $2.50. I was really excited to find an original UK mono issue of this, and I sort of got carried away and probably spent more than I should have, considering there's the great label, Vogue Records, in stereo. I don't know why I said mono. It's a stereo issue. When I got home and listened to it, it's so scratched. And I tried cleaning it, and it helped, but it's just not an enjoyable listen because of the scratches in it. So many clicks and pops, and I just really, sort of got caught up in the moment. I was so excited to find an older pressing of this. I actually looked online and found at Acoustic Sounds, they have a double LP with everything on here plus a bunch of outtakes. Brand new for like $40 some odd US. So I may have to spring for that and just sell this off. But yeah, love this record. Great stuff. Chet Baker, Phil Urso, Bobby Timmons, Jimmy Bond, Peter Littman, and Bill Lagerborough. Great album, though. Chet Baker, fantastic. Another one, whenever I see this guy's record, so I don't have it, I got to grab it. I'm a big fan, and that's Delbert McClinton. And this is Genuine Cowhide. Haven't got a chance to listen to this yet. I cleaned it up the other day, but looking forward to it. Delbert is sort of hard to define. He's soul, he's country, he's rock, he's a little bit of everything, but great, great musician, great singer-songwriter. This is Genuine Cowhide. Next one I saw, I've had this one originally way back in the day, so I'm looking for it on and off, and I knew eventually it would pop up, and I'm glad it did. And it's The Animals. This is their third album, actually called their third album, their third and biggest yet. It's called Animal Tracks, and it features We Gotta Get Out of This Place, Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood, Roberta, Bury My Body, and one of my favorites, The Story of Bo Diddley. So this is mono. This one I remember it definitely is mono, and it's on the MGM label. MGM mono, and just, again, not in great condition, but definitely listenable. Really happy to add this to my collection. Love the Animals, and in the early 60s, I mean, the groups I was really into were the Animals and the Stones, more blues-based groups, and more so than the Beatles and stuff, but Animals, love it. Saw this one there also, and I knew the name J.D. Crowe because of his association with Steve Earle. But when I looked at this record, it's J.D. Crowe with Tony Rice on guitar and Ricky Skaggs on mandolin. So I figured you can't go wrong with that. It's on the Rounder label. Didn't pay a lot for it, which I was really happy with. A couple of records I got at the place in Brunswick, I paid a little more than I should have. This one was a deal for sure. And great bluegrass, great picking. J.D. Crowe and the New South. Another one where I got carried away because I got excited. It's a record by Jerry Mulligan. We all know Jerry Mulligan, great tenor saxophone player, called Walking Shoes. See down here it says Past Perfect. Can you see that? Yeah. So the label is Past Perfect, silver line, but above the Past Perfect it has a little Japanese written, but it's a German label. And when I got it home, it's in immaculate condition. Immaculate. So I'm not complaining. It's good. I really enjoy it. Sounds fine to me. But when I looked it up, it said a German repress label of questionable legitimacy. So probably taken from digital or CD master. But sounds fine, and it's Jerry Mulligan. Didn't cost me a heck of a lot, and it's in great condition, virtually brand new. So 2000 was the repress on this. Jerry Mulligan. Another one I picked up in downtown Portland. We went to two stores in Portland. We went to Moody Lords and we went to Electric Buddha. And this one I've been looking for, again, on and off. Wasn't like a main priority to grab it, but if I saw it in good condition at a good price, I was definitely looking forward to it. So I grabbed Ringo Starr's Boku Blues, which I, again, from 1970, I'd never heard it. Of course, I heard great things about it. Great musicians on here with him. He has Jerry Reed, Charlie Daniels, the Jordanaires, Charlie McCoy, DJ Fontana, Peter Drake, etc. So it's basically, I'm sure you all know this, it's Ringo's sort of attempt at country record. Really good. I really enjoyed this. I like the hell out of this. So, again, from 1970, Ringo Starr, Boku Blues. And of course, one more I had to get when I was up there. I'm being a big jazz hound and a big jump blues fan. The Bosses. And this is Big Joe Turner and Count Basie playing together. This is from 1974, I think it said. What a great album. I mean, love Big Joe Turner. It's on Pablo Records, 1974. He does a lot of the songs he's famous for, so I've had other recordings of these songs: Honey Dripper, Honey Hush, Cherry Red, Flip Flop and Fly, Good Morning Blues, Rollin' Pete. These are all songs I have on other records by Big Joe. But to have it with Count Basie playing piano, Zoot Sims, J.J. Johnson, Ray Brown, Louis Bellson on drums, great band, and great renditions of those songs on Pablo Records, like I said, from 1974. There's your Pablo label. So really good. So that's all I got. That's what I bought when I was with Kimbo and Lozo, Brian Lozo. So then I've been going to Goodwill, and of course, you know me, I always got to grab something at Goodwill. So I got a couple of finds there at their show. This one I really knew nothing about. I didn't know the album at all. I'd never heard of it, but I liked the cover, and it's Kingfish. And as I looked at the back, it says, oh, Bob Weir from the Grateful Dead. So this is from the 70s. Let's see, 50s, 77, I think, or 76. Bob Weir from the Grateful Dead, very Grateful Dead kind of sound to it. Cover, as you see, a lot of ring wear, pretty well destroyed. But the record plays through really well, cleaned up really nice on Round Records. Hope you can see that pretty well. And I was real happy with this find. Really good. Cover's not great, but the music's great, and it's cleaned up really nicely. So, Kingfish, Bob Weir. Next one is a country album. I like country. I have a number of country stuff. I like the more traditional country, classic country. There's a guy who I had heard the name, obviously, but I didn't have any of his albums. And for like $1.50, I couldn't let it sit there. And it's Bobby Bare, and the album called Bear. And it's a promo, but it's a great album. I was really surprised by how much I liked it. Also has in it, of course, Waylon Jennings, and Chet Atkins is on here with him. But Big Dupree, The Gambler, Greasy Gritty Gravy is great. Too Many Nights Alone, This Guitar's for Sale. Just on regular Columbia record, but really happy with this one. Surprised how good it is. Bobby Bare. Next one of my favorite piano players. They had 2 albums by him there. One was so destroyed, it looked like a cat had been using it for a scratching post. So I couldn't take it. But this one I grabbed, and it's Mose Allison. It's called Mose Alive. Recorded live at the Lighthouse in Hermosa Beach, California. I don't know, let's see if I can find the date on that. I should have looked at closer before I showed this out. It doesn't give a date on it. Doesn't come up quickly. 1966, I guess. Anyway, Mose Allison with Stan Gilbert on bass and Mel Lee on drums, so it's very spare. And he does Parchment Farm, Seventh Son, Love for Sale, great stuff. Mose is I think it's from Arkansas, Alabama, somewhere in the South. Great piano player and singer. And this is on it's a stereo on Atlantic, the old Atlantic blue and green label. And pretty good shape, considering the other one was so destroyed. It's like, why is one completely messed up and one is like really listenable? Who knows? Glad to have in my collection. Add to my Mose Allison collection. The next one were 2 albums by the same band, and never heard of them before. Turns out they're Canadian, sort of a jump blues band, and they're called Powder Blues. This is called Uncut, and this is called Thirsty Ears. Knew nothing about them, but real pleased with them. They sounds great. They do a really great job. I think they're from Vancouver. Yeah, Vancouver area. This is 1979. This one doesn't say, but I'm sure it's around the same time. But nice surprise. Really like them. Powder Blues. I love me some country bluegrass picking albums. So when I saw this record, I couldn't leave it there. It's called Knoxville Grass. Darby's Castle is the name of the album. 1978. And it's pretty freaking great. Thunderhead Records. Don't know any of the people in the band. Jimmy Millsaps, Glenn Laney, Paul Brewster, Darrell Wolf, Mike Davis. Recorded in Tennessee. If you like that bluegrass, that good picking bluegrass, this is it. These guys are awful good. Banjo, lead guitar, rhythm guitar, mandolin, bass guitar, and vocals. This was a radio station copy, obviously. You see WXPN on there. But yeah, Knoxville Grass. I like that a lot. This one I bought, I was going to, you all know I have a little booth where I sell records. I was figuring, it's cheap enough, I'll buy it, I'll sell it. But I took it home and I said, I don't know if I have anything by these guys, and I love them so much. Cleaned up beautifully. And it's the Coasters. And this is the Coasters' early years, their greatest recordings. And it's on Atco. And the label is completely, the album cover here has tape all over it, tape on the bottom. It's one of those envelopes on the inside. There's your Atco label. But it is great. First, I love the Coasters, love their early stuff. And this has them all. It has Poison Ivy, Along Came Jones, Searchin', Yakety Yak, Charlie Brown, Smokey Joe's Cafe, Riot in Cell Block Number 9. Almost all the songs are written by Lieber and Stoller, and they're all almost recording engineers Tom Dowd. So early Tom Dowd working on this. And what does it say? It says somewhere here, all the other selections in this album were recorded in stereo, and the LP is mastered directly from the original session tapes. There's some mono and some stereo. It sounds amazing. 1974, or 71, 1971, as you can see by that psychedelic kind of label there, or cover. And always loved the Coasters. And I'm glad to have this in my collection now. The last two were total crap shots. Blind buys I got at Goodwill. And for, like I said, for $1.50, I couldn't leave it. This is someone called Big Joe's Jazz. I was sort of hesitant to pick this up. Joe Morani and Friends. He plays clarinet. There's also string, bass, piano, and drums. It's good. It's really good. It's very much like Fats Waller kind of jazz, which I was surprised. He has Jumpin' with Symphony Sid, which is a classic. Happy Feet, Sweet Substitute. It's great. I'm really surprised how good it was. I was on Mud Puppy Records. Mud Puppy. And this is from, again, I'm going to say the 70s. But surprised how good it was. So I really like that. Big Joe's Jazz. And the last one I got, I went there once, I saw it, went to Goodwill, it was there, I didn't buy it. I went back a week later, it was still sitting there. I said, all right, that's a sign, it's got to come home with me. And it's someone named Jimmy C. Newman, The Happy Cajun. I love that Cajun New Orleans kind of music, bayou music. I did some research. Jimmy Newman was part of the Grand Ole Opry. He was an official member of the Grand Ole Opry. And you can see the reason I bought the record, besides the fact that I love the Cajun music, it's on green vinyl. So I figured, what the hell? That's got to be good for something. And it's just good, straight ahead Cajun music. He has, they do Sugar Bee, which Canned Heat does on one of their albums. They do Karina Karina, the Happy Cajun, the More Happy Cajun. So came with the original inner sleeve, which is always cool to have old original inner sleeves. And really enjoying this. And it's just, it's a collector's edition, special green vinyl. So this was really a nice, happy surprise also. The Happy Cajun. Jimmy C. Newman and Cajun Country. And that's what I had today. That's what I picked up recently. Hope you enjoyed my video. I want to thank everybody who's been subscribing. I'm over 1,000 now, which is just ridiculous to me. But I really appreciate people taking the time out of their day to watch my silly little videos. And stay safe out there. Wear a mask. Stay 6 feet apart. And until next time, peace.